In 14.7 seconds, so a very rapid fire and a very routine pit stop for Mr. Mears, the winner of this year's Indianapolis 500.
Back out on the racetrack, Rick Mears in competition once again. Derek Daly has also made a pit stop. Derek is shown in 15th position at the moment, and while we're talking about guys who are running back in that general area, Bobby Rahal, who was running in the top 5, has dropped all the way back to 10th position. We'll continue to watch that situation. So we completed 31 laps now, and we do expect some more pit stops here in the next couple of laps, and we understand that Danny Sullivan will be coming in this time around. The leader is Ari Lyondike in the number 7 Provimi Veal car.
Ari is having a good ride. The car is working real solid for him. He's not having to press that hard, it doesn't look like. So the car is just flat working, and the engine's performing well for him.
Lyondike moving through the 7th and 8th turns. Turn number 9. If he's coming into the pits, he'll make an indication, and he did not. He chooses to stay out there. Meanwhile, we go back and look at Al Unser Jr. and Danny Sullivan. We think Sullivan is coming in this time. He drops low on the racetrack, and indeed he does. Larry Nuber is right there again in the Penske pit.
Well, Chuck Sprague told me just before he bolted the wall to set up for this Danny Sullivan pit stop. You see Danny coming to a stop right in the mark. That Danny was saying the car was a little loose. They're taking a little bit of extra time to check this car over because, as you saw on the air, Danny had a spin, kept it going. Now, Chuck Sprague, the crew chief of this car, is on the left front. A little squirt of water to make sure that the fire doesn't erupt as they pulled away. Danny Sullivan does a 13.5-second pit stop, and that was with a little bit of extra attention. But, boy, you'd never know it that they were looking this car over carefully because Danny was saying, hey, it's a little loose.
So about a second faster on the Sullivan pit stop than the Rick Mears stop. And now we watch Ari Lyondike once again come through the east end of the racetrack. Will he be making a pit stop this time? Coming out of corner number 9, the car is indeed slowing down. And here comes Ari Lyondike in for his first scheduled pit stop of the afternoon. And Gary Lee is there to report this stop.
The Provimi Veal team will go to work. 6 guys over the wall. It will be a 4-tire change. However, Dick Simon says the car is handling like a dream. So they want some quick, efficient work in the pit and send him back out. Right now, all 4 tires being changed, 40 gallons of fuel being applied, a drink of water. And the crew is back away. The car is off the jacks, and Ari is underway. There is Al Unser Jr., who is finishing up his first pit stop. They push him away, and Al Unser Jr. goes back in competition. Now, very interesting, Johnny, and this could be the story of the race. You notice that Ari Lyondike's pit stop was over 17 seconds, whereas Rick Mears and Danny Sullivan made pit stops in 13 and 14 seconds. And 3 seconds is a lot.
It really is. It's a lot to give up. But it's a situation where whoever gets the stops at the right time. I was interested in watching Rick Mears and see how much ground he might gain because he had made the stop previous to the others. And a lot of times if you do that, it works out to your advantage.
So the leader at the moment is Michael Andretti, who has not yet come in for a pit stop, and he will be having to very soon. Michael Andretti leading this 200-mile race. The Porsche is in and out for quick pit stops, and Teo Fabi goes back out in competition. And another car following him out of the pits also, as several are now making and completing pit stops. And here now is Michael Andretti for a stop. Larry Nuber.
Michael Andretti, who along with Raul Boesel has completed the most laps on the IndyCar trail in 1988, comes in for his pit stop. This is one of the pride and joys of the Cosworth clan. He and Ari Lyondike, all during the month of May at Indianapolis and here in June in Milwaukee and in Portland, have been the fastest of the Cosworth set. And Michael Andretti is in and out with a 4-tire change and a brand new load of fuel. Emerson Fittipaldi is the next front runner to exit from the pit area. He too executes a pit stop with no altercations or problems.
All right, so Emo moves back out in competition, and here is the way they're running as we have them. Ari Lyondike reassumes the lead. Danny Sullivan was now shown in 2nd position. Mario Andretti is 3rd. Al Unser Jr. is 4th, and Michael Andretti goes into 5th position. And we believe that Rick Mears is now in 6th spot. But look at Danny Sullivan still driving the wheels off that car, and he is right behind the leader, Ari Lyondike.
Well, now there is a race developing. There are several cars that were in the pits, made very good pit stops. There's about 6 or 7 cars here that could inherit the lead or take the lead. There you see Lyondike making a move on Kevin Cogan and Danny Sullivan in hot pursuit.
We actually have the first 4 cars that are very close out there on the racetrack. The leader, Ari Lyondike, and there is one car separating Lyondike from second place, Danny Sullivan. That would be Kevin Cogan. Cogan there in that red and white car. There is Sullivan, though, in second position. And right behind him is third place, Mario Andretti. And behind Mario is Al Unser Jr. So there's Mario in the number 6 car. And we understand that he has not made a pit stop at this point. Will be coming in soon to put some front wing in the car.
That may be telling us something that he's getting the mileage, and it could be at the end he'll be in the right spot when if anybody hasn't fuel. There's coming in as Mario's brakes into the pit, so he's in.
Larry Nuber will call this pit stop of Mario Andretti.
Team manager Tyler Alexander and crew chief Colin Duff will go to work on Mario Andretti. Look for that slight adjustment that we were anticipating on the front wings. No move to it yet. A 4-tire change, as everyone, of course, has executed here. There'll be 4 tires changed on each of the 2 scheduled pit stops. There's the wing adjustment we were talking about. They lean over the front of the cockpit. A full load of fuel, and Mario Andretti is away in 17.8 seconds. So not one of the quicker pit stops, but a long ways from one of the slower.
I'm very impressed with your voice, Larry. It has improved greatly since last night when it was non-existent. Dale Coyne has come in for a stop, and this may be something other than a routine pit stop as Coyne continues to campaign that stock block engine. Ludwig Heimrath Jr., by the way, during his pit stop, committed a violation and has been black flagged by the kart officials. Ari Lyondike is leading the Budweiser G.I. Joes to Danny Sullivan second. And Howdy Holmes has just spun in corner number 9, and the car is apparently without power. This, of course, is the car that Johnny Rutherford, or the team that Johnny Rutherford was involved in last year, and Howdy's car is stopped on the grass. Michael Andretti has come in, and this has to be something other than a routine pit stop. Perhaps he made contact with Howdy Holmes as he spun there in turn 9.
I believe that was turn 1 that Howdy was off in the grass.
Okay.
Yes. Turn 1, and Michael, they're not really working very fast, so if they're looking the car over, got some sort of problem there.
Well, let's see what happened. Michael and Howdy running side by side, and that's what happened.
Yep. That was turn 9. I'm sorry. My mistake.
So Michael Andretti has come in for a stop, and they're working on the front end of that race car. He could have received some damage from that altercation. Meanwhile, it is Ari Lyondike being pursued by Danny Sullivan on the racetrack. They're working at the front end, possibly a little bit of contact there on the left front of the race car.
Yes, it looked like they touched, and it could have bent the suspension somewhat and made the car go off in the handling department, and it's very critical at a place like this. So it's a shame for Michael Andretti. He'll have to do a lot of tall driving to do any catching up today.
They continue to work on the car, and Michael Andretti sits helplessly in the pit area, and Larry Nuber is there.
Johnny and Bob, they're a little concerned they can't find all the problems. The biggest problem they have found is the track rod, Johnny, on the left front side of the car. There's also concern over the brake ducts. Obviously, they were moved around a bit in the altercation, and they're checking the suspension. As you know, the adjustments are so critical that many of them almost cannot be seen by the human eye. So in a situation like this, you try to work as quickly as you can and come as close as you possibly can. Something you did with equipment and micrometers yesterday. You try to do it by feel today.
Yes, and that's where the driver comes into play. You have to take up the slack. The car